Hello and welcome to Sprouted Dreams. This week I had a new design in my mind and thought that I would try designing it with you. So I pictured this frame that I use for a fairy door and a hummingbird door with branches all around it, kind of like a spring bramble with a few leaves and maybe flowers coming around. Oh gosh, just spilled all my leaves. And maybe a bird or a butterfly as well. So let's see what we come up with. I have some different branches that I thought we could try. Maybe something kind of like this and curvy. These are actually, I think, roots, but they give a really nice look to your fairy doors. And so I was going to try these and see if they worked. They definitely are more curved and bendy, and so they are harder to glue down. But right now we just had quite a bit of rain and should be getting more rain actually tomorrow. So let's see if maybe I could get these to sort of sit down and look like they grew actually on this door. You know, I think that's gonna look pretty cool. I like that. Another option, let's look, don't start gluing till you look at all your options. Another option I had was these different type of sticks that are a lot more twiggy, I suppose. You could kind of go something like this. Well, you know, I set these out, I cut these last night, and actually I think that this is a neat look, but it doesn't look springtime to me. It almost looks more like fall. Like this would be a great fall door with a raven on here instead of a springtime bird or a butterfly. I don't think this twiggy look goes so well for springtime. Maybe we could sort of blend the two together. Let's see. Oh, no. That does not look good. All right, we're going to not use the twiggy look. Although I thought that this piece was really unique because I could cut it here and this could be the doorknob. So I really do like this for the doorknob. So let's keep that one out. But I kind of wanted to do a little bird like this. I made this bird with a form and then hand painted it. It is made with a urethane, I think. It's what they use for props and things in the movies. It dries just wonderfully quick and very detailed, as I think you can see. But this, or maybe a butterfly like this. I had several butterflies. Let's get the twigs or the root sort of look back on and see what that looks like. Because I did not like the twigs unless we're doing more of a fall door. Because it depends on the leaves too. Like if you did the twigs and did these sort of maple looking leaves, I think that would go really well, like I said, with a raven or gosh, even spiders or something for Halloween. But I think that if we go for springtime, we need something more like a new leaf like this. And then we will use these sort of, let's see, maybe a butterfly too, butterflies, maybe a couple of butterflies that are different. That might look nice. I like that one and that one. Maybe those three. That's kind of nice. I like that. There's an even smaller one. Yeah, that's where we're going. Nope, no birdie and no twigs. So now we need to see what kind of hinges we want on here as well. Do we want kind of a gold hinge? I think it would look nice to hinge it on this. Oh, so the door opens this way. Yeah. Or do I want to hinge it over here? Or do I want the other side of the door? Maybe I want the other side. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, and it has this nice streak of wood. Can you see that sort of wood grain coming across here? I like that much better for the front. So we're going to use this side, and I think I will go ahead and hinge here because this is a little wonky, but I think that it will open just fine. Yeah. I hand cut all of my doors, so they're not completely perfect or exactly precisely the same on every door. But my customers kind of like that, and I like that. If you want something completely perfect, I do have these things that I cut with a laser and then paint. And so there's just different sort of looks to all the wood pieces that you use. Just be sure to choose all your pieces before you are making the door. Now, we will not need a gold doorknob with this because we're going to go with the twig here with the knot in it. I definitely like that. All right, and we have all of our sandpapers here. Remember, I think it was last week, did we go over the super, what is this? I think it is, like I said, 70 grit, very heavy duty sandpaper. And then I go to a 120, and then I go to 400. So let's go ahead. Should I glue those on? Let's see, we'll just give this a quick sanding, make sure that it's kind of ready for gluing. Maybe I will glue the twigs on prior to putting the door on. That's kind of a good idea. All right, so maybe we'll wait on the door. I'll set that aside, and we will just do the door and these twiggy pieces first. That gives us a little more space and room. Oh my gosh, look at the turn on this. Is that amazing? I hope I can get that on there. I love that. And that will go, we are gonna have to do the hinges, see? Once you get into the process, you see what you need to do. If I glue this on, I'm not gonna be able to put those hinges there. So we are gonna have to do the hinges first. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this for just a moment and go ahead and apply the hinges. Okay, I've got the door all hinged now. And I also cut and sanded this doorknob so that it's ready to be glued on. I really love this, but it does have a slight angle. Can you see that? So I need to see if it looks better sort of this way with the door opening, or how would you grab this doorknob? Maybe this way. So it kind of has a way that you would open. Yes, I think that way works better. Always play with your individual pieces and think of how you would open that door, or how a fairy would go and approach, said door, and which would be the best way to open. I actually, in my day job, am going through lots of gates and doors, and it's kind of amazing to me how many doors are actually put on backwards, and it drives me crazy. So it's something that I really think about quite a bit. All right, that is set on there. It's got some little glue coming out. We'll try to get that off so that it doesn't weep out the sides. I am up in our stables today, which I'm trying to turn into my new shop area, but it's really cold. So if you see my scarf or my jacket blowing around, it's just a blustery day. I should be down in the creek, but I didn't feel like going to the creek, so I did a video instead. But I love to go to the creek to do videos. It's just today, I'm like, ugh, not today. Too wet and stumpy. So let's see. We are back here. Oh, I love this twisty side. Now see why I needed to put the hinges on? Because when I glue this on, there's no way that would be able to go. Let's see, let's go this way. So I'll need to trim this off. I think I want to glue that first. I wonder if I can get that to sort of sit down there. Like I said, the wood right now is all very bendable and pliable because it's got a lot of moisture in the air. We had a lot of rain last night, and then a big storm is coming in, which should make for a beautiful springtime. All right, we are going to try to sand that a bit. Yes. With the extra gritty sandpaper. Gritty kitty. Does anybody remember Ren and Stimpy? All right, use the gritty kitty sandpaper. There, yes. That should work well. Now, do we want to put any leaves on first? That's the question. I almost feel like maybe I should, and maybe these leaves should have some color. Let's think about this before we start gluing pieces down. Because although I really like these twiggy pieces, I wonder if some of the leaves should kind of be underneath and peeking out. Oh dear, means I'm going to have to go back down to the house and get some paint, doesn't it? Looks that way. Maybe watercolor, and then when we seal it, because I would like these little laser designs to come through. Some of them are lighter and some are darker. So I would like this pattern to come through, and if I use acrylic paint, the laser is just burning this in, and see, so it makes a darker brown on the outside, and then this pattern here. So I'm going to use watercolor, and then I will seal that in with polyurethane after it's dry. So let's see if we can get some color on these leaves. All right, let's see what these greens look like. I'm going to try them on the backside first and see if the color is what I want. That's a nice green there. I think that'll work. Let's try that on the front here. Now, when you're working with wood and watercolor, you do not need a whole lot of water because the wood is going to be so absorbent. So you can add quite a bit of color and not worry about overdoing because it's going to seep in quite a bit. And then you're going to be able to bring out more of the color as you add your varnish layer. But with watercolor, unless you like, it depends on what you want. Varathane spar urethane is my sealant of choice because it really protects the wood against the weather and the elements. But it does yellow, and it's very thick and kind of messy to work with. So you may want to use a water-based polyurethane, which does not yellow, but the wood may in fact actually bring out a little bit of its own color to it. So it depends on what you want to do. I really like how this is coming out. That's just great. So actually, I don't mind if the leaves yellow a bit. This is a very bright green, and if it yellows a little bit, I think that will just add to the green color. I don't think that's going to hurt anything, but like these butterflies are sealed with a clear polyurethane, water-based, and so that's why their colors stick quite true. So yeah, I like those. How many do you think we'll need? Here's, what is this, 5? Let's do 7. I don't think you need a zillion leaves around there. I don't want to make the leaves the sort of thing that you look at. They're just there to show that these little brambles are coming to life and it's springtime. And I just want to sort of have that color there a little bit. See, this one doesn't want to take the color because these are sealed a little bit. Not enough for outdoor use. Maybe one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do 2 more. Just in case. Better to have too many than not enough. All right. Now you can see the first ones I've done, that's already soaked in. So they're ready to be worked with, which is nice. You don't have to kind of wait to see what the results will be. Excuse my green fingers. I have a green thumb. Anyway, okay. Now, let's see. Do we want to put one on? Yes, yes. See, that's going to kind of come out of there. Oh, I love that. Okay, because I want to have some dimension here so that, again, it looks like a bramble. Goodness, I wonder if I should probably go wash this off of my hands. I hope it doesn't stick. All right, I better stop and go clean up. All right, still slightly green, but I don't think it's going to bleed onto the door. Now where is my, here. Now we're gonna switch to the lighter sandpaper because I think some of this glue kind of seeped onto the door a little bit. Okay, now I think that we can put down some of these leaves that are already finished letting that weep in. Now let's see again. This is the one I had, and I want that to kind of, okay, we will go ahead and glue this piece first, and then we'll add the leaf onto the door. You just need a few points where you can glue it down, and then we'll go ahead and add clamps and more glue. So I am going to go ahead and put glue on these parts. Is that flat there? More sanding. Yep. And then a little here. Perfect. Okay. So now, I really use toothpicks quite a bit, but I have so many twigs nearby. I have this small one that works just the same, but when you are gluing small pieces, having toothpicks nearby is really super handy. So keep that in mind when you're gluing your pieces up. Toothpicks are kind of a necessary piece of equipment, in my opinion. All right, so we're gonna glue that there. Now I wanna make sure it doesn't interfere with these hinges, which this does not, but I'm gonna go ahead and clamp that there. And then I'm gonna bring this one here. That have glue, yes. Clamp that there, and now I really want this one to stick here as well. Oh, look, some of my green stuck there. That's all right. If you find that you have anything color-wise that you don't want there while you're gluing, go ahead and leave it, and then what you can do is fix it up afterward with a bit of sandpaper. And because we used watercolor, you could always add more water and just make that color sort of dissipate with some added moisture and a rag, or like I said, a light sanding. Oh dear, somebody's shooting nearby, sorry. So many hunters went by this morning. I was very surprised because I really didn't think they'd make it up our road. But some did. Some turned around, which makes me laugh. Okay, enough of my sick humor. Now, let's see. Now, see, I want that to kind of come out of there. Maybe one here. Because I'll probably put another twiggy piece on that side. So let's see. This one I had for this side. Yes. I think that will be fine there. Let's go ahead and put a leaf here. All right. Is it springtime in your neck of the woods? It certainly seems to be here. Now spring, we could still get some snow and stuff, but the hills are really turning green and the bulbs are starting to come up, so I definitely think that spring is here. Okay, we're just gonna add that right there. I love that. And we can even put another one maybe here or here. I like that because the next twig is gonna kind of come in this way. So we're gonna go ahead and glue this one sort of up here. I want to get a few on the door itself, and then we'll add some actually to the twigs after we get that all glued on. So let's see, what did I have for the other side? Was it this one? I thought I had a bigger one. Let's see. Is it this? Nope. Must be this one. Nope. How about that? I have a big one. Is this it? Did I want that there? Maybe, maybe. Yes. Okay, that's the one. Okay. We're going to put this right here. And I'm going to kind of open that up a bit so that it doesn't interfere with that leaf right there. Pull this one off. And you can always add smaller, stay. You can always add smaller twigs like this one after you get your main components sort of set on there. Yes, I like that. It's kind of bothering that little leaf right there. That's all right. We will just move that one a little bit. Hello, Raven. Do you hear the ravens? They're having quite a time. Probably playing in the sunshine today because tomorrow we're going to get socked with another storm. But it's a great time to do any weeding. Also, if you have any harsh weeds in your garden, I'm trying to take the mallows out right now because they have roots that are so deep and the ground is nice and soft, and so you can pull those. But also, it's a great time to look for any pieces that have already shed their bark because there may have been tree limbs that fell during any storms or anything, and you can go look for those now before spring sets in. So great time to hunt for special pieces. I like to pull the bark off of these. Always pull your bark off of your pieces before you use them on your miniatures because bark will always decay and you don't want to leave that on. Even if you put varnish on it, somehow there's little microbes and bacteria between the bark and the wood, and it's always going to cause you a headache later on. All right, I think that one's ready to glue. This one I am not going to sand as much because it's kind of a soft piece, and I'm going to try to get it to really stick kind of everywhere that I can. Let's get it right there in the corner. And I don't mind if it goes outside the frame here because that kind of adds to the whimsy of the piece. So don't worry about it staying exactly perfectly on the frame. Oh, this darn. There we go. That one. Now, that is going to be tricky, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to have to cut this one here. And we'll add more twiggy pieces later. Can I get that to sit? That's the question. Okay. Do we have glue here? Yes. What I'm going to do is clamp that one just like that. And then this one will have to go, actually that's sitting pretty nicely. This is why I have so many clamps. If you are working with miniatures regularly, you will find that you need a lot of clamps. So keep that in mind. See, now this is interfering with the door opening, but I can sand that later. So what I do is anytime I go to any home improvement store, I buy a clamp. That's just kind of my little rule, and it has served me well. So you can buy an expensive clamp, or you can buy a really cheap clamp, or maybe you're just at, Harbor Freight or Walmart or whatever. Just buy a clamp because, quite frankly, you can never have enough. And I think even these little ones like this I got at the dollar store. So just buy clamps because there is a never-ending use for them, as you can see already. So let's add some more green pieces to this. And then probably I'm going to have to let this dry and finish this video up tomorrow so that we can add some extra little twiggy pieces and the butterflies as these larger wood pieces have dried. Oh, so cute. I love how it looks like it's just a living vine sort of creeping around this door. Absolutely love, love, love. Very cute. Yes. And we'll put one up here at the top too. Yep. Okay, and then we can add more as these pieces have dried. But I don't want to get too much on here. You'll see that we can add so much more once these wood pieces have dried to the door. We will have a bit more structure to the whole thing. Okay, so these pieces are all glued on, and I added just a few little pieces to stick them on a little bit better. Once the main branch was sort of attached, these smaller pieces needed to be set onto the door a bit more. So I added some more glue and clamps, and then I thought we would finish up these pieces together because it needs more, but as you'll see, like right here on this side, this has a nice thick piece, and then that little piece that I added, that I took from the top here, added a nice amount of thickness there. And actually right here, I think I'm going to sort of complete this idea between these two branches with a butterfly. See, and that's how you can kind of complete your idea with your pieces. But then over here, it doesn't really have enough thickness. So I thought I could add something like this, which works really well. You, again, make sure that your branches don't interfere. It's kind of hitting this little clamp here with your door opening, which this does not. So I need to add this piece here, but that kind of covers that little leaf there. So I'm not sure if I want to kind of bend that in or what. But what I may be able to do is if I put something thicker on, like this, maybe I can again cut these pieces down, but then put a leaf on top. Maybe something over here. This is kind of working a little bit in a more completed way. And this side needs some more. So let's get a couple of pieces glued on and see what they look like. I'm not sure if this piece goes there or, like I mentioned, if this one goes there. I'm trying to find the right matching sort of segment. Need something thicker. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I keep grabbing that same one. I could go there and cut that down like that, and then attach that in and add more smaller pieces. All right, let's do that. And again, I always use these wire cutters because they cut very cleanly through these very small twigs and branches, and I like the way that they cut. But they will leave a mark in one direction. So you can see that one side is clean and the other side might have a little bump, and that's because of the way that they're shaped. So play with them a little bit and see what you like best. Let's see if that piece, ooh, look, what if I added that like that? And then we could get something, whoops, a little bit more turned in there. No, actually, no. We're gonna stick with this guy. Yes. All right, we're gonna put that piece on. And again, like I mentioned, lots of clamps and lots of toothpicks, which I have right here. And also, just as an added glue, you may want to have some 2-part epoxy around, and you can just mix up a very teeny tiny part, like a large raindrop full of part A and B, mix it with a toothpick, and then apply that. And that gives you a quicker set for your pieces if you're doing something kind of quick like this. But honestly, the best for wood glue is, again, is this Tight Bond 3, because I find that it stands up to the weather and rain and whatever you need for outdoor use. The Tight Bond really does a miraculous job. Oh, now look, if I put that piece there, it's going to interfere with my door opening. Ah! Oh my goodness. One stupid piece and I can't seem to get it on there. All right, well, I had it. How about like that? Yes. Okay. So we take our sandpaper and I'm going here. Sorry if I'm shaking you a little bit there. Had to move inside because the rain is coming down in just buckets and buckets and has been for like 2 days now. So when I filmed the first few segments of this, it was, let's see, Saturday. And then Sunday, we drove back and it was just like a white knuckle drive back to work. And so now we are in the city, but it's still raining here. It's just raining through all of Central and Southern California. It just seems to be pouring. But like I mentioned, it should make a very nice springtime. So I'm excited about that. That really needs, if you have a spot that needs a bit of clamping, but not something like this clamp happens to be a very strong one, you can use really tiny things like these bookbinders clamps, but also, hang on one second. Okay, you can use wood clothespins. I say wood because they really grip best. Oh dear, it's not going to go around. Ah! Okay. Fussy pants. There we go. Nope, isn't going to do it. My heavens. Well, wood clothespins work quite well on most pieces. There, we'll use the bookbinders. There, now that piece will probably be ready to come off. So let's add our butterfly piece kind of up there, like I mentioned, so we can bridge these two branches. And I'm gonna scuff up the back of that a little bit. And then we will put glue on our branch where we want that. Now, once you get your piece all glued together, it's really good to go and check all of the places that you have glued and make sure that they are super strong. If they're not, add more wood glue, or like I mentioned, you can use some 2-part epoxy. That always adds a nice bit of stability. And if you have any small twigs, like this one I will probably cut down so that it doesn't stick out the edge here. But if I wanted this to stay, I would mix up some 2-part epoxy and kind of paint this small twiggy part with that, because oftentimes these small pieces are not able to withstand outdoor use and opening and closing the door in your fairy gardens. So the epoxy gives them a real solid coating and adds to the stability of your piece. All right, let's add, I was gonna add that leaf down here. So we have plenty more of our colored leaves. And I like to kind of make them go, like this one's going this way, this one's going this way, that one's going that way. I'm gonna have this one go inward because I like to vary the direction of the leaves so that it looks like a twisty vine actually produced that leaf. I wonder if that's going to hold there. Like I said, check your pieces. That probably needs a little clamp as well. I think actually a clamp. Yes, this one. Always have loads of clamps. Great. That's gonna work. And we're going to add a bit more twisty wood. Now look, you can see up here where this piece is going to come off. Now that is definitely not going to stay there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off with my wire cutters here. And I will probably glue that piece down so that it doesn't raise up. I will go ahead and do that. I think I can get that with a clothespin. I'll go ahead and go in between, get my wood glue in there. Yes. And we'll just attach that. Actually, I'm going to attach this one. Because I think that piece went. Why did my clamp come off of my leaf? There. Don't do that. Oh dear, now my butterfly fell. We're falling apart here, folks. Is this my butterfly? Which one is it? I don't think that's it. I lost which one it was. Oh my gosh. That was not it. Ah, that's it. Okay. Now, since that didn't seem to want to stick too well, I'm going to add some more glue. Sometimes pieces are too slick and they need, sorry, I bumped you. They need extra applications of glue. There. Okay. Now, we've got a leaf and a butterfly and these twigs. We may put some more twigs on at the end. So let's see if we can get another butterfly on there. We've got kind of a dark one. I really like that small yellow one. Let's put another dark one on. And then we'll be able to add the brighter ones. How about that there? Maybe that there. There, looks good. Now look, I want to put this butterfly here, which means it's going to have to stay on with just that one branch. That may not work well. Let's see if this would work better. Yes. Okay. Sometimes you have to play with the pieces and make sure that they're going to be able to stay where you're going to put them. Because oftentimes, especially when you have sort of lumpy, bumpy bits like this, it may not adhere well enough. You've got to get a really good glue job done and then seal the whole thing with your varnish so that the whole thing is almost encased, and that helps to protect it from any little bits of dirt or rain or moldy parts to come into your fairy doors or whatever miniature you're working on. Okay, do we want another leaf on top? No, I think we're going to have to let this dry, and I'll be back and we will pull the clamps off and add some more twigs. Okay, so our branches and the two butterflies and that extra leaf, they're all applied. They're not super glued on tight like they will be tomorrow. It's always best to let wood glue set for at least 12 hours before you really start applying any sort of pressure or adding your varnish. Let your wood glue dry completely before you varnish your piece. So that's another little tip that will help you to make your pieces really come out evenly and smoothly. But we are ready to add a little bit more. So now that we have these pieces that match the thicknesses that I would like to see, we can add a little bit more of the twiggy pieces. So I wanted something that kind of would come over each side. See, but that is going to block my door opening. But maybe something like that that would go over both sides. Oh, kind of covers my butterfly. Well, maybe I pull the butterfly off, or maybe I add that in. I don't know. Let's see. All right, let me sand that down and see what I can kind of do with that, because I really like this look. That looks spectacular and very, yes, very interesting. Maybe if I added it there, that would kind of, ooh, I hate to cut that. Okay, we're gonna do it. Just go. We're gonna cut that piece and we're gonna add it there and hope for it to go over both of our pieces. Oh my goodness, I love that. And we could even go the other way if we wanted. Let's take that off. We could go this way too, as long as it doesn't interfere with the door opening. Oh, I love that. That is a great piece. If I go that way, I'm going to have to cut it again. We could go this way or this way. Well, that looks really good, but I'm not exact. It kind of gets heavy over here. See, this looks like it has too much right there. And it will interfere with the door opening. All right, we're going to have to go this way then. I just wanted something a little bit more, whoops, away. How about like that? All right, we're going to pull that off. And we're going to put that on right there. Yep, right there. Maybe I'll leave that thick part in case. Always cut less than what you think, because you may end up using it, but you can always take more off. But you can't add it back on if you're like, oh, I wish I'd have left that on. So I thought maybe I would use that thick piece there somehow. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let's get this piece kind of sanded down and see if we can find some flat areas so that we'll be able to actually make it stick. I tried to get all the bark off of these. I am not using the super heavy duty sandpaper on these little twigs because it's a little bit too aggressive. But if your twigs need it, feel free. I am always unafraid to sand aggressively. All right, well, let's see. Why does it look like I had it on there perfect, and then when I get it all sanded, it doesn't look quite right? Maybe because this piece is preventing it from laying flat. So let's take that off. There we go. Yes. Yep. And then that will be our final piece there. I love it. Now, it kind of has that leaf hidden underneath there, and I love that because if you look at a brambly vine, they have leaves everywhere. So I just love that. And this little heavy part that I said to stay is going to be what really sticks our piece on. So see, you never know what you're going to end up using as your anchor. So that was anchor, not anger. Although some of the twigs do make you pretty angry. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that on there. Oh, I love it so much. All right, wood glue it is. Can we take that off? Gosh, it looks really good. I'm gonna leave it there for a little while longer. Now I had that one. Was it here? Yes. There and then there. Okay. I may have to glue this on and then get that down in there. I'm not sure. Okay, that's what we're gonna do right there. Where are my toothpicks? There they are. So play with your pieces even as you're gluing, because you just don't know where that piece is going to stick best and how it's going to adhere because you find different anchor points. So I think I'm going to anchor this other end here and then again here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the wood glue here, but when I am ready to get this piece down in there, after this clamp comes off, I'm going to take the 2-part epoxy and fit it in there so that it is in the exact right spot so it doesn't interfere with my door opening. I'm going to do that and I will be right back. All right, we have got everything relatively dry and boy, am I happy. This is like, many times I have an idea in my head and I make it and I'm pleased with the results, but this is like almost exactly what I saw in my head. So I just wanted to add a few more leaves and a couple more of these smaller twig pieces. And right now there's just 2 butterflies here and here. Maybe we'll add 1 more, maybe not. Maybe we'll add 3 more. I don't know, let's see. But I thought that this little spot here needed something and maybe right here. So I'm not sure if we want to put another leaf there or more twigs. I almost think this dark, see how this twig has a bit of dark on there, and this piece here has that as well. And I'm almost thinking that that would look really good right there. I would have to cut it. Well, let's do it. I'm gonna cut that there. Also, be careful with your wire cutters because I tend to hold the pieces and I end up cutting my fingers. You'll see cuts on my fingers all the time. If you want like pretty fingernails and all that, you know, this ain't the channel for you. My hacked up, painted, and, you know, painted, not like pretty painted fingernails. I mean painted like paint. So be careful with your wire cutters. They will cut your fingers too. Trust me. All right, let's see. I think that piece looks spectacular there. It doesn't quite fit, but what I'm going to do is glue that on there. Maybe I'm going to cut that down just a little. And that's going to fit. Oh, I love that right there. Now, if I need to take this down a bit, I can do that. Well, I guess I could do it now. You could also wait until it's dried. But yeah, I love that. So I'm going to sand that down. I'm going to sand on a different table so I don't shake you, hopefully, so bad. There we are. I just recently smashed this finger in my car door. And it was so bad that I actually, the door locked on my finger. And once I finally got my keys, I always wear my keys around my neck, thank God, and got it unlocked and got my finger out. It was like dented, so that it was like less than a centimeter, maybe like half a centimeter thick. It was dented, and it was white at the tip, and it was bleeding from the bottom. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be sewing my finger back on. But here we are, about a week and a half later. It looks still a little funky, but I did get to keep my finger, and even the fingernail, although it has kind of, little spots that are kind of numb still. That's where it was bleeding from. Anyway, don't do that. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Not fun. All right, I love that. Maybe it looks like we need another leaf up here. I don't like it underneath. I want another leaf, but I want the color there. Looks like the wrong angle. I would love to put one in there like that. No, then it looks like it's too close to that one. How about there? Aha. Well, that I like. All right, let's do that too. These are the little details that you can add at the end and make sure everything is exactly how you want it, and then varnish. I actually was thinking about this piece when I was going to sleep the other night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't stain it, but I don't think that I want to add stain to this, and I'm glad that I didn't, but I got a little sidetracked thinking about staining it, but it seems to be nice like this. But if you wanted to have these pieces sort of differentiate from each other, you could stain the bottom piece and make it very dark and have these other pieces in lighter or brighter colors, and that would provide a really nice contrast. It's just a different look. And so think about that before you start gluing your pieces on. Ooh, oh, that looks really too heavy over there. Then if I add that there. What about this here? No. Ooh, I need one there, a little one. Look at that, a little twisty piece at the top. I wonder, let's see. Oh, I love that so much. I would love to have that. Ah. I wonder if I can kind of pull that away. It's nice and flat too. Maybe I'll just put that there, like that. I wish it was under. All right, maybe we'll cut it a little shorter and it'll look like it's coming out from under there, even though it's not. Oh, it's too fragile, I think. I really like this little piece. Can you see how nice that little twisty piece is? But I think it's too delicate. Unless I really would, maybe I could kind of go like that. And we'll put something underneath it on the bottom. See, it would just kind of set on top. I almost need another piece of twig under there in order to lift it up. Let's see if we can do that. Aha! All right. I don't know if that makes it look too crowded there or not, but I stuck a little piece of twig underneath, and then that sets on top. I really like that. This leaf needs to be re-glued so we could kind of tuck it in there. Yes, yes, yes. I absolutely want to do that. Okay. So we're going to make that twiggy piece sit on top of this one. This little one is going to go right here. And then this twiggy piece is going to set on top. Oh, but I want it to kind of hide under that leaf. There we go. Everybody's going to sort of hide what's underneath them. So the leaf is kind of hiding the end of this, and the twig is making the small, delicate piece here be able to sit there. There. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now I still have this spot over here that looked a little naked. Maybe a leaf. Maybe a leaf like that. Okay. Yeah, we'll just kind of tuck it in a different direction. I like that. I don't want the leaves to all go in a single direction. It's a bramble. Their leaves kind of go every which way. So yes, we're going to just tuck that in there like that, and it fits so nicely. So yes, that's going to go there. Now, do we want another butterfly? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I am just unsure about that. No, I think I'm just going to stick with two. It looks very springtime and very festive and very natural. All right, this is the way I'm going to leave it glued. And I am going to go ahead and let this dry overnight, and then I will varnish it. And I will show you pictures of the finished door at the end. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you to make your very own twig and bramble fairy door for your fairy gardens. Until next week, happy fairy gardening.